Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title, I am making my own prom dress. This is going to be part 1 of making my own prom dress. So basically I want to make a inside dress and then something that goes on the outside, so I can wear the inside dress by itself and then I can wear the outside dress with it if I want to. Also, I just want to say all my sewing experience comes from watching hours upon hours of YouTube videos. Like literally I have watched every single DIY wedding dress video on YouTube. So this is like not a tutorial since I'm learning as I'm going. I just want to say that. So I have been saving like pictures of prom dresses that I like for like ages now, and like a few months ago I came upon two Tamatoshi dresses and literally they're like so pretty. Like they're not even dresses, like they're gowns. So anyway, that's where most of my inspiration comes from. Okay, so this is just some screenshots of some dresses I like. So what I'm talking about, this is the outer dress, something like a long sleeve on top and a full tulle skirt. What I mean by outside dress is I'm going to create a dress on the inside that looks kind of like this, but with a v-neck, kind of like that, but without the waistband. So basically I'm creating more of a simpler dress with the slit because I like slits, and then creating a tulle overlay on top. In this video, I'll only be making the inside dress. In the next video, I'll be making a tulle overlay and definitely like more of a fluffy skirt. Also for color, I decided on a pastel pink color, and also for material, like something like a satin. And so this is my sketch. So first of all, I want spaghetti straps on top. Also a v-neck, not very low, but this is the neckline that accentuates my body the most. Also, I'm gonna add boning like inside the top. Also, I need pockets because like why would I make a dress without pockets? And like large pleats, overall like A-line skirt and a high-ish left leg slit, and probably gonna put like horsehair braid at the bottom so it has more structure. And on the back, a low-ish back and a lace up. So yeah, this is like overall my design for the dress. So this is the design I have for the upper dress. I'm not going to explain it here because I will be explaining it later in my next video. So yeah, that is my design, and hopefully it won't be too hard to make. I didn't include like a lot of complicated stuff, and I've made like cotton dresses before and that kind of stuff. So yeah, a lot of this won't be extremely new to me. So let's get started. So first what I did was I just took some muslin and draped it on my dress form. So I got my dress form off of Facebook Marketplace and it was like $25, so such a good deal. And it also is adjustable, which is amazing. It's just like the breasts are a little too pointy, so they don't fit my body exactly, but I know what to do to fix it. So anyway, I'm just draping a piece of muslin onto my dress form and like marking where I want the hemline to be, and I'm cutting out that piece. And after I cut it out, I put it back onto my dress form and made alterations to the dart where I want the princess seam to be. That's what I'm doing here, and I'm just like drawing and pinning everything as I go. At the end, I noticed that the top part isn't laying flat, so I kind of like pinched that together and made a dart on top, so it turned into a full princess seam. So I'm cutting that apart now. So I just pinned that back up and put the other piece on to figure out how big I want it, and I just draw and pin along the way. And here's me just ripping out another piece of fabric for the back. I just really like ripping out fabric. And then I just used that piece to drape the back piece, and I drew where the lines are and how I want the back to be shaped. So after I draped the back, I re-draped the center side piece because the other piece was a little too small, and I just basically drew where all of the lines should meet, like the hemlines and yeah, that kind of stuff. And this is how it looked after I draped everything. So that's what I did on day 1. Usually I only work on this at night, so it's gonna be like a lengthy process, but only like an hour per day or something. So then I traced that bodice side to the other side so I can make another side for this bodice piece so I can like wear it and see how it's gonna fit. And then I just cut them out and sewed them together, and this is how it looked. I really like the shape of everything. The only thing I need to fix is that there's a little bit of extra fabric right here on the back panel, so I'm just gonna like move it in a little and like redraw that line. Hey guys, so this is like day 4 of draping. So I played around with a few skirt like draping options. I didn't want to do a circle skirt because that's like a little too basic because the top is already pretty plain, so I wanted to do pleats, and I played around with how I wanted the pleats to go, and this is what I decided on. So the slit is gonna go right here, and the center has like one big box pleat that goes along with the princess seam, and then 2 like pleats that go this way, and then on the back it's just gonna replicate the front, so a box pleat in the middle and 2 pleats that go this way. Okay, so this is a better visual of how the pleats are gonna work. So this is the front of the skirt. I'm gonna have 1 box pleat right here, 2 like one-sided pleats, I don't know what they're called, and there's gonna be a slit right here. I might cut this off a little shorter depending on how much of my leg will show here, but I'm just gonna leave it this much and have like this much overlap just in case. And on the back it's gonna replicate the front, so a box pleat in the middle and 2 side pleats. And yeah, so I'm gonna have 4 pieces, 1 2 3 4, because I'm gonna open the back for the zipper. Basically I just did some math to see how much fabric I would need, so I'm probably gonna get 3-ish yards to have enough for the bodice, but I have a lot of fabric here also. I took apart one side of the bodice mock-up and put it on pattern paper to trace it out, and then I made patterns out of it. And for my patterns, I did a 1 centimeter seam allowance. After that, I got this matte satin fabric for the lining. Instead of getting like cheaper lining fabric, I decided to go with this because I wanted something a little more stiffer than normal lining. And cut out my pattern pieces. I pinned and sewed all of them together, and this is how it turned out. So I decided to visit this fabric and sewing store. So I went and got some boning for the bodice, and also I got some horsehair braid for the bottom of the skirt so it's more stiff. And then I got the fabric that I will be using for the whole dress basically, and it's this pink satin material. So I attached the boning on the wrong side of the lining piece, and if I were to do this again, I wouldn't attach them so far up and down because later it was hard to turn around and it was very bulky to sew through. And then after procrastinating for a very long time, I finally cut out the bodice pieces based on my patterns out of the main fabric. So I'm just placing them on and marking where I should cut. Also, the fabric is double layered, so I can just cut once and get 2 of the same pattern pieces. And I made sure to like pin everything in place just so the fabric doesn't move around. And so here are the pieces cut out, and now I'm just gonna pin and sew each piece together. After that, iron all of the seams down so everything is pressed in beautiful, and this is how the outside of the bodice looks. And now I'm just making straps. So I sewed right sides together, and then I cut off the excess fabric so it's easier to turn. And then after that, I just used a needle and thread to turn my straps around. And then I ironed my straps flat. So to attach the straps, I put the bodice and the lining right sides together and put the straps inside of that. And now I'm just gonna sew across the top of the bodice. And this is how it looked like after I sewed it. And then I hand sewed some padding onto the lining, and then I attached the straps on the back side. Also, this part keeps on fraying, so I ended up using some like fray check glue to make sure the fabric doesn't fray anymore right here. And then I just understitched the whole garment so the lining doesn't flip out. And then lastly, I just roughly sewed the bottom of the bodice together so it stays in place, so it's easier when I have to combine the skirt with the bodice. And now I'm finally onto the skirt. So I made my skirt 50 inches long, and for the width, it's just what I showed on the screen earlier with my calculations. And of course, I'm going to add pockets, so I cut out 4 of these and pinned them onto the skirt fabric, right sides facing together. If I were to do this again, I would make the pockets a bit higher. And now I sewed the pockets to the fabric, so it looks like this. And now I'm just ironing it flat, and now I'm going to combine the front and the back. So I'm going to sew down here, I'm going to loop around the pocket and then come back down. So for my skirt, I'm marking out 2 1/4 inches, and I'm following this pleated design. So I'm just going to pleat according to my markings like that and pin as I go along the way, so it looks like this. And then I just put in a row of basting stitches to make sure things stay in place. And now I'm connecting the skirt to the bodice, making sure everything lines up and putting in pins along the way. And I had to redo a pleat because this didn't end up matching up perfectly. And after that, I'm hemming the slit, so I'm folding the fabric in twice and ironing it down, and then just top stitching it down. This is one side of the skirt done, so I have the right front and the right back pieces. And now I'm just gonna have to repeat this for the left front and the left back pieces. So I cut out my fabric, I ironed it all flat, and then I pinned down my pockets and sewed my pockets on, and also closed the side seam. I ironed my seam forward and flat, and then I pleated the skirt based on my drawing. Now I'm basting the pleats together, and then I matched the skirt with the bodice and pinned everything in place. And I decided where the inside piece of fabric, like where the slit should stop, and cut off the excess fabric and hem that piece. and sewed the bodice and the skirt together. And after wearing it and marking where I want the zipper to be, I added my invisible zipper with the zipper foot. So the right side of the zipper is facing the right side of the fabric, and I just sewed as close as I can to the zipper teeth. Sewed both sides of the zipper on, and this is how it looked like. And after that, I just connected the rest of the back together from the bottom of the zipper to the bottom of the skirt. And after trying it on, I decided on how long I wanted the dress to be, and I wanted the dress to just touch the floor with my heels on, so I cut off around like 5 inches all around the bottom. And now I'm gonna put in some horsehair braid to give the bottom a bit more stiffness. So I sewed the horsehair braid to the right side of the fabric. So this is how it looks like after it's sewn, and I'm turning it around like this and sewing the top of the horsehair braid down. And lastly, I hand sewed on a hook and eye to the top of the dress. And that is basically it, and here is the final review. That is basically it for prom dress number 1. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I went through a lot of things super fast because I just didn't film a lot of clips. So if you guys have any questions about anything, leave them down in the comments below and I'll answer them. If you like the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you don't want to miss part 2 this dress, which is a overlay dress, or if it's up already, go check it out. If you guys want me to make more sewing videos, or I should just stick to powerlifting videos, let me know what you guys think. And that is basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.